Hey everybody, welcome back to another beautiful day in real estate. Things are moving in a positive notion right now. We are seeing some positive factors, even though the market feels negative right now. And we also have a partnership that came out that doesn't really surprise me, but it's a big story and it's something to pay attention to. So first, as always, interest rates. Interest rates at 30-year conventional, they're falling just slightly. They fell the last 2 days. I think we're gonna see some more positive movement. I was in the gym today and I was talking about interest rates, and some guy popped his head around and, oh, interest rates are going to be in the high sixes all year long. And I'm like, okay, well, what other factors are you paying attention to? Well, interest rates. And that's all he had. There was really not much to it. And I mean, again, no fault to him. I mean, he probably is doing his own thing. But to me, it just means that more people, the average person's paying attention to interest rates more than anything. And yes, they do play a factor. But I don't really want to get into this till the end of the video, but I do believe that we are going to see an insane amount of buyer demand, and I'll get into that in just a minute. But first, let's go into that article. So Zillow launched their own Zillow preview to expand visibility of pre-market listings. This is literally just a fight back to Redfin and Rocket Mortgage and Compass. So basically what they're doing is the exact same thing that Redfin did and that partnership. They're going to make it so that new listings and coming soon listings and exclusive listings are only on Zillow. And they partnered with a lot of bigger names. Like Compass is the biggest brokerage out there, but they partnered with Keller Williams, Remax, Home Services of America, Side, and United Real Estate. So they're bringing a lot more partnerships to this platform. And the reason they're doing it is because they're the biggest platform in real estate. Like Zillow is where everybody goes to look at a home. Like you have a couple that will go to homes.com or Redfin. I mean, in my area, at least. I'm sure bigger markets are different, but in my market, I send them MLS listings and they send me the Zillow listing, right? Like that's how that differs, right? Zillow is the go-to goat. So it's no surprise to me that these guys are now partnering with them and creating their own concept of the preview listing. So what does this mean for people who do their preview listings? This just means they'll appear on Zillow and Trulia, which Trulia is not used as much, but again, similar concept here. Be saved and shared by buyers. So the same thing you can do with a listing property. Allow buyers to connect with the listing agent or Zillow partner agent. So that just means like the listing agent, it'll be on there. Your phone number is going to be on there. But if you want to request a showing, if you request a showing on Zillow, it goes to a Zillow agent, somebody who pays to be in that position so that they can go and show you a home. Personally, it's not something I do. I know one of my friends does it, and he kicks ass in that market. Like realtors, if you got the money to spend, I'm not even gonna get into that because, dude, it costs a lot to be in that market, but it takes some time to build up. So if you want to try this, a lot of agents fail immediately because they put money in and then they don't see the immediate result and they like, oh, this sucks, it doesn't work. Okay, just like everything else, you have to take time, guys. Take time. Anyways, enable early tour scheduling. So this is actually really big. So like before, and the MLS just changed recently. Before, you were not supposed to have agents in a house before it went live on the MLS. It's big no-no. That changed recently. You could do private and pre-listings in my MLS now, and that I think that changed across the board. I don't remember, but I know in North Dakota it did. And this means that like if specifically you're in-house, you can get your agents in-house first. And maybe at the time, when this shifted, people were like, hey, I've worked with you. I know you're good. I know you have good clients. Get them in there, right? Now people can just schedule those showings before they hit the market. Agents, that's going to make you look a lot better if you know how to use this correctly, because what does the seller want more than anything? To sell their goddamn house, honestly. So anyhow, this differs. So it says this differs, right? So last month, Compass and Rocket companies announced a partnership with Redfin. The goal was to pull 500,000 coming soon listings onto the Redfin platform exclusively. Okay, while integrating mortgage offers, and they offer rate buydowns and stuff like that, so that people could get into a home for a little bit less. And again, on the back end, we're going to talk about builders and why it's super important to be building right now. But at a high level, both moves reflect the same broader trend. Listings are no longer introduced into the market in a single step. Instead of exposure is becoming more layered, timed, and platform driven. So the portal wars, if you will. So there's no longer like list on the MLS. It goes everywhere. Like it still will, but you have an opportunity now as a seller with specific brokerages to focus directly on there, which is going to give you an opportunity. Like if you're listing on the Redfin Rocket Company's concept, You are providing a value to the buyer by offering the buyer to potentially get a buy down on their rate. Okay. If you're listing with Zillow, you're offering the potential for your seller to get more views and potentially people in there before they even hit the market. So like sometimes it takes like 2 or 3 weeks to get somebody ready to list, right? They got to clean the house out. They got to get photos done. They got to talk with their spouses. They got to do all that stuff, right? They got to wait till the lawn's perfectly green to get pictures done because they want to make sure the house looks good. Now you can just take the pictures and you can get them in there and be like, we're not quite ready to hit the market yet. We're about to be, and here's what we have to do. Go show the place. It means people can just start getting into the homes. And this is also going to be directly correlated to AI because, again, I've told people this, but AI is going to change the way that we look at real estate. AI was integrated, Redfin and ChatGPT integrated on a partnership. And it means now that people can go into AI and they get very specific about what they want. It's no longer 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 2,200 square feet, under 600,000, go search. No, it's, I want a house that's within 2 blocks of Wilmore Elementary. I want to be on the golf course. I want to be in this price range. I want I want honey oak cabinets. I want granite countertops. I want a jetted tub. I want all of these items. And then that is going to go based off of the description into the search criteria and boom, into ChatGPT search. So again, your listing descriptions need to be on freaking point this year. If you have new shingles, if you have updates in the property, if you have warranties, transferable warranties, make sure you're exposing that because people are switching it to AI to start searching. My platforms, on almost every platform I use, whether it's my real estate, whether it's for new construction, all of it has AI integration in it, and it's only getting stronger. So sellers, if you're working with an agent, you probably don't know the key factors of what the listing description should be at, but ask a realtor about AI descriptions and SEO words and how they plan to utilize AI to benefit them in the market. Because again, remember, we are at a time where we have the least amount of buyers, and we'll get into that in just a second. But so within the MLS framework, support local brokers and agents and comply with local rules. So again, the rule changed a few months ago. It might be a year ago now at this point. It was within the last 12 months saying that you could have these listings, and I think it's 6 months anyways, but you could have these listings exclusive to the broker that can do private or previews and coming soon listings, right? So they changed that recently, and then this gets integrated anyways, but the key distinction is how each approach But the key distinction is how each approach balances early access, public visibility, and control over distribution. So this is just another battle of the companies, right? They're now going to be going after how can they provide the most value for their clients, which most companies should be focusing on anyways. But people that list their homes on Zillow, or an agent that lists their homes on Zillow, they want them to be able to have flexibility, right? Because again, you're fighting over attention. It's not really product anymore. It's fighting over attention. If the attention's drawn over here, then you're going to obviously have more people drawn, right? If you can bring that attention back, Zillow wants to stay top dog, and they have the money and the energy and the drive to make it happen. So anyways, so how does this product work for agents? Okay, so increased availability throughout placement and search results and alerts. So again, if you're on Zillow, I'm on Zillow all the time, even because sometimes on MLS, agents don't list things correctly. They mentioned yesterday, I went to a meeting about appraisals, and they're like, he's like, make sure you're listing your house correctly. It's not a split level, multi-level, patio, ranch style home. So again, this is going to be super important because it's going to increase availability, but you also get a notification on your phone and it says, hey, new listing that may recommend you. And I look through a lot of those listings because even for sell by owners are on there. I know a lot of agents don't like working for sell by owners. I'm working with one now. It's going smoothly, but you as an agent, you have to provide that value. I took my clients to a for sale by owner home because it was on Zillow. That's where they were searching, obviously. And we went in there. We couldn't make a deal work. They were a little nervous, and it took them a long time to sell that house. But anyway, the visibility of coming soon listings are going to be hitting the notifications all over their phones. So pay attention to that. Now, buyer connections with the option for customers to reach out directly to the listing agent or another agent. So again, it's just the same as it was before. That really hasn't changed. I don't know why they put that in there, but revenue participation opportunities tied to transactions generated through the Zillow network. So my guess is they're going to be offering incentives for you to list your properties directly through Zillow because, again, it's the attention grasp or the attention argument of how can we get to bring more people to our product. Okay. So that's what they're paying attention to. So you guys, I don't think this is the last partnership. I think we're just getting started. I think, again, things are shifting in the real estate market in a lot of ways. And the more I dive into it, the more I'm understanding it, the more I'm like, holy shit, we have a lot of new things coming this year. So anyways, now this is going to lead to my next portion of things. And again, I see this everywhere, and it's the doom and gloom, and I understand. But we have to remember one thing. When is money made? When the market looks the shittiest. Markets don't collapse when everybody's calling for it to collapse. It usually does the opposite. Don't get me wrong. Things could happen. The world could end tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. I get it, okay? I understand it. But we have to be factoring in that, again, the lowest they've been. Look at the market. Like it's plain as day to me, and I understand why people like, oh my God, this is so much worse. It's the worst we've ever seen, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, pending home sales are down significantly. And it's, again, like I've said before, it's a lot harder to sell homes. That's why agents are leaving the market. But that means that if you can get into a home now, dude, hold on, we're almost there. And the last thing I'm going to point on, again, I saw this again pop up on bar chart. Can't sell a house, jumped into the highest level in history last month, surpassing even the peak of the global financial crisis. Okay. So now we know people can't sell their houses. We understand that. Why? Because there's not enough buyers. Why? Because there's affordability. So what's happening? Inventory is starting to creep up. So people think, oh, the inventory is going back up. That means the market's going to crash and I can get my house for a discount price. It's not quite how it works, right? So first off, I'm going to talk about being a builder. Being a builder is very exciting in these times. And it's builders are taking the precedent. I was listening to a podcast this morning where somebody was an agent on there, and she was talking about how she took a client down in Texas. I remember if it was Houston, or I think it was Houston. Anyways, they went to a brand new neighborhood to look at a new construction house because the builder's offering 3-2-1 incentives. Builders are offering incentives right now because affordability isn't where it should be, right? So think of it this way. What do you think is going to happen when that market shifts? And it's going to shift. It always freaking does. It always shifts, okay? So over here, the builder's saying, hey, I know you need to get into a house. Interest rates are high. I'm going to offer to pay down your interest rate for the first year, 3%. So you're going to go from a 6 to a 3. Then on the second year, you're going to have a 4. And then the third year, you're going to have a 5. And then in year 4, moving forward, you're going to have a 6% interest rate. But remember, 4 years is a long fucking time. So, yeah, you know, I have somebody now, and I want to shake them because I know what's going to happen, and they are just looking for the best deal. And I think it's gonna castrate them. I really do, because what's gonna happen is you're gonna go, and you're gonna wait, and you're gonna wait, and you're gonna wait, and you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I can get a new house for cheaper. Okay, let's say the market. Let's say the market corrects 3-5% even. North Dakota, that's possible. Could happen. And interest rates go down. Now, what are you doing? You're going to sit there and you're going to be like, wow, interest rates could keep going down. And then you're going to buy a house when it's inflated 20%, when it's inflated 10%, 7%. You're going to pay more for the house because you got a better monthly payment. Congratulations. You paid more for a house. Now you're upside down in a mortgage. You're going to gain equity over time. But the thing is, you can still gain equity a lot quicker if you're buying in a time where everything is a problem. And what do you think builders are going to do when this shift happens? Because again, remember, everything on a federal level right now is focusing on shifting the market affordability style. And it's not how can we crash the market, it's how can we make it more affordable? What sort of incentives? They're talking about adding grants to builders, removing regulation for builders. Builders are not going to be offering these incentives forever. Like right now, mine is up till the end of the month. And I already know that I'm going to call people on April 1st and they're going to be mad at me because they can't get that incentive anymore. Because that's how the mentality of people work. We go after things when we think we know what's going on. But the thing is you have to take a 30,000 foot overview and realize that, yes, your first year you're going to pay your first year on a 3-2-1 buydown. I'm touching on this because I'm offering it right now, and it's a humongous deal. Your first year, you can pay $400 to $500 less a month in your payment. $400 to $500. Okay, dude, you can save $6,000 in 1 year as a real estate agent or as a buyer. $6,000. What do you do with $6,000 in your first year? Spend it? Sure. Go on vacation? Maybe. Or you put that into a savings account or an investment account and you start earning interest on it. You put it in a high yield saving account, and then year 2, guess what? You're still saving $300, $250, $200 a month. Okay, now you're back up. You're still saving money, right? Saving $200 a month times 12, that's $2,400 a year. You've just saved $8,500 in 2 years. Okay. Now year 3, you're saving maybe $1,200 more dollars. Okay. Now you're up to $9,700 that you've saved in 3 years compared to where the rate was. Do you know what you can do with $9,700? You can buy down your interest rate permanently. You could, I don't know, again, invest, go on vacation, do something with it. But chances are, the way I'm seeing things, we're going to see interest rates back in that normal 5s, the normal 4s. But we're all too scared. That's the problem with investing and buying in real estate and investing in general. People don't want to make a move when they're scared, but they don't have the education to understand that that's the best time. And it's nothing against anybody. Unless you're in specific industries, you're not going to know what to look for. You're not going to know how to build it. You don't know. That's why you hire professional people to handle your stocks, that's why you hire a financial advisor. That's why you hire a realtor. That's why you hire a builder. You don't know how to build a house. That's not, again, it's not wrong. It's just you're not there, right? So when I see this, I see a lot of people that are taking advantage of this, are not taking advantage of one of the best opportunities they could have. And I think a lot of people, and you're going to hear it in a few years. It's just like when the stock market crashed in 2009. People are still talking about, oh, I could have bought. Yeah, I could have bought at that point. I'd be here right now. If I didn't sell, I'd be here. It's because emotions drive our decisions. And it's my goal to help people see that emotion so that they can get into a house so they can get the best deal they can. Now, as a builder, dude, when the market shifts, seller concessions are going to be off the table. 3-2 on buydowns, off the table. Inventory is going to be constantly having more competitive offers. I mean, we're still getting multiple offers, not necessarily new construction for me in particular, but like on the market in general. And dude, I love new construction. That's why I talk about it. That's why I'm in the industry. That's why 80% of my business is where I'm at. And dude, I'm stacking my listings this year. I am stacking motherfucking listings this year because everything, don't get me wrong, there's not very many buyers now, but again, things are going to shift. There's a lot that can happen between March of 2026 and December of 2026. And we're just getting into a market that's normalized in the Midwest where we're going to start to see an influx of buyers. We always do. We have somebody coming in the back end of May who plans on dropping interest rates or at least restructuring the way that we do that. We had a $15 billion debt buyback from the federal government yesterday, one of the biggest in history. We have a consistent talk at a federal level about saving, the 21st Century Road to Housing Act, specifically focused on creating more incentives, more grants, more removal of the red tape for builders. This is the time you need to be getting in the market. And when the market's tearing, people are going to be on the sidelines. It's like I see the memes where could be anything, could be gold, could be silver, could be Bitcoin. And it says silver at $25 and there's 4 people in front of the window. Silver at $100 and the line's out the fucking door because that's the way that we are taught to be. We're never going over here on the small end to buy something at a low cost. I started buying silver at $20 an ounce. At the time, didn't really know what I was doing. I was just trying to diversify. I'm pretty happy with that decision. And I have people that are buying silver and gold and all this at all-time highs. And I'm like, you guys, you missed the boat. At least wait for a pullback, right? Because when the market's shit, I'm excited as ever because that's where my money is coming from, is when the market's down. Dude, the market has been brutal these last few years. And I've loved every second of it. Because when the time shifts, I'm working on getting into more rentals. I'm working on new construction rentals. I'm bringing partners in on them. I'm working on my listing. I'm learning education about real estate. I'm focusing more and more and more. I've closed over 20 million deals in my first 2 years in real estate. In year number 3, we're at 3 million at the end of March, middle of March. I preferred to be a little bit higher, but we'll take what we can get right now. But I've spent the entire winter going over learning more about education. Now I went to an appraisal seminar yesterday to understand how appraisers think. Appraisals have been an issue in our neighborhood, in our line of the woods, neck of the woods. So now I understand, okay, the appraiser's looking at it from this perspective. This is how I can get us where we need to go, right? The more you have education, the more you prepare. In real estate, at 90 days from today, what you do today will come and happen 90 days, or you will see the result 90 days from now. Pay attention to what you're doing, and buyers, sellers, you guys, you can wait until the market's at 4.5% interest rates, but then you're going to sell your house for more. Congratulations. But you're going to pay more for a house, and you're going to wish that you sold your house when you did. Somebody talked to me yesterday. Should I wait till spring to sell my house? I'm like, I don't know. What does your life look like? Well, I could be in my house by December, building this year, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, cool. Sell in the wintertime. Well, I could make more money in the springtime. I'm like, perfect. You could do that, right? I've seen it happen. People will say, yeah, you make $20,000 more. Congratulations. But then you paid $10,000 more for that house because you waited to lock in on a price, or $20,000 more for a house. You paid a higher interest rate because in the springtime, there's more demand, so interest rates go back up. Like, dude, there's always opportunity for growth in this industry and in this market, but realtors, you need to get your shit together and really teach people what this means. And buyers and sellers, you guys, don't be afraid to ask questions. That's why we created this channel, because I wanted people to start really understanding how real estate works. This stuff on my screen over here, it's not going to last forever. So if you can buy a house now, if you can sell your house and move up and comfortably make it work, you'd be a fool not to. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more videos. Have a blessed day.